right, welcome back to another Honcast.com presentation on Breaky CPK. Going to be your shoutcasting host, and joining me once again is Hippie of the Honcast staff, and this is Game 2 here in the Best Out of 3 series for the GosuGamers World Cup main event. Losers bracket. Here we have DWI versus Empire Gaming. Excuse me there. I believe this is round 3 or round 4 of the losers bracket. But obviously, you win here, you stay alive in the tournament, you move on. There's about 12 or so teams left in total. You lose here, unfortunately, you're done. But again, there's a lot of money still to go around. You've already guaranteed, I'm pretty sure, around $800 at this point. Maybe it's actually $500, so I don't want to say that. But it jumps up, obviously, from $2,000 to 4th place all the way up to $10,000 for first place. So just a lot of money on the line. Cannot reiterate that enough. A big event. It's been a lot of fun. All right, so Game 2. Game 1 went to DWI. A very dominating fashion. They looked really good. The Mage Bane carry pick, Mage Bane tri-lane, proved to work very effective. And despite Empire Gaming getting their hands on Dr. Repulsor with the first pick, it just did not matter. Favy did his best, but Scandal struggling on Flint Beastwood in their own tri-lane just really put Empire in the hole, and they were not able to come out of it. So big win for DWI. But Game 2 now, of course, it is Game 1 was on US East, by the way, and now of course Game 2 on European. So obviously international back and forth. That's how it works out. But looking forward to seeing how this one plays out now. But as I said, I'm joined by Hippie once again. How you doing?
Doing good. That last game, like you said, very powerful victory for DWI's side. Surprise pick Mage Bane was obviously not an orthodox pick, not a hero we've seen for a long time, since God, I can't remember how long it's been, but that's not the point here. Hoping to see better play from Empire's part. They got kind of sloppy at the end there, and I'd hope that we can get a longer, more intense game out of this one. I mean, not saying the first one was bad, but seeing a concede that early always bothers me a little.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have two teams that are just They're so powerful in the competitive scene. Again, DWI kind of making a little bit of a comeback after a little bit of a break, whereas Empire, they've always been a very consistent team, top 10 team, arguably, always. And, so you would expect it to be an awesome series, but that Game 1 was very dominating in favor of DWI. But that's why it's best out of 3, and more so in the fact that we have a couple of international teams going at it. So now we're on the European server. We'll see if Empire Gaming could perhaps play a little bit better over here and work with that. But the picks going out, so of course, let's start with the bans. The bans are looking like Plague Rider, Dr. Repulsor, Thunderbringer, Devour, Pharaoh, and Tundra. So very similar bans to last time. The different ones, though, being Dr. Repulsor and Plague Rider. Now, those are very interesting because those were in place of actually, I believe, Witch Slayer and Voodoo Jester, which obviously have already been picked up by the likes of DWI. But Plague Rider banned. Now that's the really interesting one. Never really see Plague Rider banned, but clearly Empire Gaming, with their last ban, they banned Plague Rider. They saw DWI, they played him very well, and they just did not want to have to deal with that again, I guess. So it's one of those, you did well within the first game, we don't want to have to deal with in this game, and that armor as well can be effective, and you already see Empire's lineup, they have quite a bit of minus armor. They didn't want to give them that option of picking up a hero that I guess provides armor as well. And the Dr. Repulsor ban, kind of self-explanatory, actually banned by Empire Gaming, funny enough, but of course DWI having the first pick, they did not want to allow DWI to have it. So other than that, though, the same bans. But you have any comments to make on the bans quickly, Hippie?
Like you said, Plague Rider, very unorthodox ban. Obviously, yes, because I believe it was Waffle Magaz. I'm not totally sure on that, but I'm fairly sure it was him. And fantastic Plague Rider play. I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, almost perfect timing on every spell. Some really sweet jukes down in the bottom lane while his ultimate was going off that one time to let Kiwi Kid come in and pick up a kill on that Bubbles. Really excellent play. And for those of you who might be watching this on the live stream, I really recommend going back and watching that game on VOD if you missed it. And it was really great. Absolutely fantastic Plague Rider play. I cannot emphasize that enough.
Well, apparently Empire Gaming, of course, agrees with you, and thus resulting in that ban. Picks obviously going through here. Interesting picks so far, really both teams. Of course, let's start on DWI over there on the Legion side. We got Voodoo Jester, Witch Slayer, Wretched Hag, Madman, and Sandray. So once again, we're going to see the melee agility carry hero being picked up here by DWI. Like you said yourself, we have we don't necessarily see that too often. We see more range carries, if anything, or even strength carries. But, you know, DWI going back-to-back games now, first with Magebane and now with Sandwraith, so they're still a fan of it. And we, of course, would expect them to run a trial lane, especially since they did last time. And Sandwraith has been proven to be a very, very effective trial lane carry hero. Same story, though. Needs that powerful farm, but I will say this much. He has very, very, very good support with him. Arguably the two best support players to have babysitting a trial lane with him. So they definitely have a lot of potential there. And their lanes as a whole, I really like their lanes. Of course, they got Madman. They could either send Madman middle or top, to be honest. I mean, we'll see how they do it. Either Madman or Wretched Ag going to be playing middle and top. You got to figure in the solo lane. So, going to be interesting for them. They could even actually go for the short lane solo as well this time around, I guess, being that they have the Sandwraith and the good support trial lane. But we'll see, though. Anyways, very, very sound team. I really do like DWI's lineup. You know, Madman and Sandwraith, though, of course, going to need some powerful farm. But, yeah, that's only the worrisome thing I guess you can really say. But other than that, just a very good sound team over here, Hippie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think those picks are particularly out of the ordinary. Solo Madman is not uncommon. It's not common anymore. It was more common back when Fresh Pro did it all the time, but it's not something we don't see. And Sandwraith we've seen a lot over the past month or two. He's proven himself very, very powerful. What I will say is that I'm interested to see how the Solo Madman turns out now that Bottle Crow only refills 2/3 of the bottle, because that was Fresh's trademark move. That's why Madman started getting banned against MSI so often, because Fresh would go solo against 2. He'd Bottle Crow the heck out of Madman, and he'd dominate the lane. But having to refill that bottle even more often now, the burst, healing, and mana from that being so much lower, I'm interested to see how Madman's going to play this solo lane, because he's going to be less effective. There's no arguing that.
Yeah, that is a very good point. We have seen Fresh Pro playing him recently in solo lanes, and you know, like you're just referring to, he used to be so dominant with him. He still has been fairly dominant with him, and it's kind of funny because recently too he has been going for some more different and fun style builds. Like we keep on talking about whenever we see a Madman now is the Gnome's Wisdom, the Storm Spirits, Mocker Brilliance. So just a really, really different style builds. A lot of fun to watch, of course, and we'll see if perhaps Waffle, my gods, maybe follows in that suit. But obviously, yeah, so the laning phase is going to be interesting, and it looks like they are going to send Wretched Ag middle, and that'll leave, of course, Madman top. It just so happens, though, that Empire Gaming, they decided once again to send their tri-lane to the long lane, just like they did last game. Didn't work out too well for them, so curious to see how it works out this time, but a much different tri-lane. And with that said, let's go over Empire Gaming's lineup. We got Bubbles, Hammerstorm, Soulstealer, Andromeda, and Nymphora. So, like I said, a much different trial lane with Nymphora, Andromeda, and Hammerstorm. And they got Soulstealer middle, of course, and then Bubbles soloing the top short lane. Yeah, Nymphora, always talk about that whenever we see him. It does seem like whenever she's picked up now, she's always part of a trial lane because she is a very good harasser, very good support trial lane player, great heal, of course, excellent assist and stun, and even the mana regen if she chooses to go for the Grace of the Nymph in 1 or 2 levels. But not a big fan of it in the long run, though, because of the lack of levels. She's going to be played here by Noob Like, and we'll see how that works out for them. Hammerstorm, though, of course, going to be taking the majority of the farm here. You figure he's going to be the carry go-to guy and going to be getting the farm. But with that said, they do have a triple stun combination. Again, much different than last time where they only had 1 stun. And that's definitely going to be very beneficial. They are going up against a Witch Slayer Voodoo Jester support, very, very good themselves. But expect a lot of action to take place down here, and it is going to leave Sandwraith feeling a little bit vulnerable, perhaps, with that triple stun combination. So maybe make him a little bit more passive in terms of getting those early creep kills. But team as a whole, staying away from the laning phase, a very sound team. I mean, if Hammerstorm can get the early portal key, perhaps, and start, become the early to mid game carry that he definitely can be. By the way, we're talking about the triple stun. We have 1, 2. There's a third stun with the Zeal from Nymphora. Bloodlust kill on Witch Slayer right there, and you just see the power of it already. Sandwraith kind of hanging in there. He needs to be a little bit careful, though. Wants to think about taking some damage himself, so he falls back. But good pressure from Empire Gaming, showing off the tri-lane triple stun combination. But how do you like this Hellborn setup, though, Hippie?
I mean, I like it very much. Bubbles is one of my favorite heroes anywhere. I'm very, very happy to see Scandal on Soulstealer, playing middle. I think that's what he's good at, and when they get the opportunity to do it, they need to do it. Like I said, I think it was a mistake not to do that, and we do see Raiko picking up another kill in the bottom lane onto the Nymphora. Or actually, no, excuse me, their first kill. My fault. So good 1-to-1 comeback on their end.
Let's do a sync up real quickly. We're going to do that. Well, by the way, real quick, we have action down here. Once again on which side, there's a triple stun coming out. More auto attacks. Graveyard only hitting him for a good spread right there from Empire. Expecting it to come, but now Witcher might be able to get away, actually. He uses a health potion. He is going to get away. And Hammerstorm actually going to be taken out. Good job by Sandwraith and Voodoo Jester right there. Like I said, great, decent spread from Empire. They knew the Graveyard Stone was coming, but in the end, they spread out a little too much where they bought the route for Witchslayer to actually make his getaway. So great play by Kiwi Kid right there. But to sync up on the in-game counter, I'm going at 234, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, good to go. All right, so yeah, this trial land, as expected, I mean, already having a lot of action, but you know, despite the triple stun combination from Empire, the problem with that one right there is that Nymphora and Andromeda stunned at the same time. You gotta synergize where it's one after the other full durations. If you don't do that, then you're not having the maximum efficiency. And of course, if you allow Witchslayer to actually come out of the being locked down, get his graveyard stun up, then it can cause him to help him get away, if not turn it around, like we saw right there, pretty much. So. Empire, they need to be sure that they line up those stuns correctly, or else could end up being bad for them. You see Voodoo Jester doing the pulls, and Hammerstorm, of course, coming over there to harass, and actually the pulls going to the other creep camp. That's kind of interesting right there. But Nymphora and Hammerstorm will take care of those ones. But, yeah, so powerful lane here from Empire. They just need to make sure that they just line it up altogether.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the CC rotation is so important in any stun lane. I mean, even in just a dual stun lane, but especially in a triple stun lane. If you layer the stuns, and because the spells simply, they're not a high enough level for them to be getting a lot of damage out of those spells. They need to layer the stuns so they can get a lot of time just to beat down those heroes, and they can't let that Witchslayer get his spells off. He's so powerful in tri lanes because of his AoE stun, because of his mini. He has so much disabling power. And that's exactly what they need to prevent.
By the way, you're talking about the bottle fairing for a Madman. I mean, despite that nerf, Waffle My Gods is still doing his best to take advantage of it. Again, it only fills up 2/3, but he has taken a lot of pressure from Bubbles as expected, but now playing he's been playing counter-aggressive himself, I should say, as he constantly uses that stock, of course, and that barrel roll combination to really harass Bubbles. So a lot of back-and-forth harassment up there. Of course, no one dying just yet, but could very likely happen in the near future. And actually, speaking of that, right as I say that, Madman gets taken out by Bubbles. Ultimate not even needed. He got the combo off, though, and sure enough, sets up the kill. So well played right there, now tying it up at 2 hero kills apiece. Ooh, are they going to... Yes, they're going to go in. Again, though, they had to use 2 stunts together. They're not being efficient. The heal comes out on top of that. I don't think they're going to be able to finish him off, though. And Sandwraith will be able to get away with barely any life. Exactly what I'm talking about. If they did not use the stunts at the exact same time, they more than likely would have had that kill right there, and that would have been a very, very, very big kill. They did not get it, so he gets regen right up with the health potion and some mojo, and he's right back into the fight. So Empire Gaming, a very powerful lane in theory, but you got to be able to execute. You look at the Legion team now, 4 from behind. Actually, there's a stun 1-2 on a Witch side. Then a good combo stun to follow it up. That was a little bit better timing. The heal on top of it sets up the kill. Now 4 being chased, however, by Sandwraith. Avoids a nuke, actually, just stuck in the woods here, however, trying to still make her getaway. Sandwraith is chasing. In the meantime, down here, of course, we have Voodoo Jester being chased. Not going to be able to chase him long enough, and actually Nymphora will get away. Now, can they cut off Sandwraith is a question. No stun from Andromeda, nor Hammerstorm. They're just going to put some pressure with auto attacks. But Voodoo Jester just putting on that mojo and eventually having them fall back. By the way, Sandwraith, he's going 1-1 build in both Dissipate and Deserted. We usually see one or the other, but choosing to go both for early on here. Of course, both are very powerful abilities, and we see some go for Dissipating, some go for Deserted, just really much a preference style play. By the way, Scandal takes out Wretched Hag as Wretched Hag went on top of him, it looks like, but now he's going to bottle up a double damage rune on top of that and just come right back to the middle lane. He did get some assistance, of course, from Unique Phaser actually playing that bubble, so good job right there from Empire. And as like I said, they should be able to win this trial land as long as they can land those triple stuns all together. And right now, Raiko, he isn't having the best farm. He's only 14-1. Hammerstorm is 23-12, so obviously Hammerstorm is winning that lane in terms of farm. Need to be careful here, though, because Madman ports in. This could be a lot of action about to pick up right here. Madman is off to the left-hand side. There goes the Acid Cocktail as well as the Graveyard Stun. Sandwraith in the middle of them as well. Madman comes in. A good Zeal Stun actually going to hit all three heroes on the way back. Hitting for a buy, the time to get away. It doesn't look like it. Madman will be able to chase him down. Andromeda gets away. Galvanize being used by Hammerstorm. He actually finishes off Voodoo Jester in the meantime. And now here comes a double damage in Soul Stealer. He avoids the Graveyard Stun. The Demon-handed nuke down Witch Slayer. Ends up getting the kill on him. And, well, in the end, that actually worked out pretty damn well for Empire Gaming. Madman stalks away barely, but he's living life on the edge right here. He is still hanging in here. Might want to think about actually getting away there, and it looks like he is, but good solid play from Empire Gaming right there. Keeping somewhat of a lead.
Yeah, Madman, I think, made the mistake of getting a little too greedy going after that Andromeda. Thought he would be able to pick lean off, and maybe if he had backed off and able to apply some pressure on the other end of the fight, he could have prevented an extra kill from going off there. So I don't like the decision to... I never like seeing when people kind of get tunnel vision. They'll see they almost picked off a hero, and they'll ignore what's happening to the rest of their team. As we do see a stun going off on the Sandwraith, an Empor stun to follow it, but they don't have the Andromeda stun to follow it up, and he's going to be able to walk out and regen up with that life tube he's holding on to. But just the whole tunnel vision thing, where it doesn't matter how the rest of your team is doing, you see that low health hero, you're going to go after them. You get it a lot in pubs. You don't get it as much in upper level games, but you do still see it, and that's what we saw right there. I think it was a definite mistake for Waffle Magads to go in after that Andromeda while the rest of his team was trying to escape, trying to get out, and he could have helped them. The pressure he could have applied might have saved a death there.
Definitely could have, but like you said, in the end, he chose to chase and ended up not even getting the kill that he was looking for, so... Just a good solid play from, or he did get one of the kills, but not more. Anyways, again, this Sandwraith lack of farm it's unlike last game. He does have 2 hero kills, similar to last game when he was playing the Mage main, but his creep farm is much, much worse, especially to that comparative Fae V playing the Hammerstorm. It's, by the way, he's just picked up a Steam Boots, I'm guessing. Yeah, there he got a Steam Boost delivered to him, so taking advantage of course, that very powerful early farm, which is now at 280 gold per minute, just behind his teammate Scandal playing Soul Stealer. No surprise there. Who's at 286, just about to finish his Steam Boots himself, so I don't know if we necessarily... Well, probably did, but again, Scandal on Soul Stealer. That's, of course, the go-to hero player for this Empire Gaming team, so expect him to, as always, play a dominant factor. Now that would be the day when we see a Scandal struggle on Soul Stealer. I don't think I ever should expect that to happen, but yeah. Anyways, we have one stun coming on a Witch Slayer. There's a follow-up. Expect the Seal Stun. There we go. Can they get the auto attack damage? Good use of the power supply. Just not enough, though. That was much better timing once again. Bubbles is also here, by the way, looking to help finish off on Sandwraith there, perhaps. They chase Voodoo Jester down. Andromeda dropping faster. Wretched Egg who poured it in. They will get the kill right there onto Andromeda. Good stun from Hammerstorm, just as Wretched Egg tried to blink away. Not in time, though. You see Sandwraith. He ended up going down as well. Used the ultimate. Was not able to get away, however. The heal comes out for Nymphora, and Empire Gaming taking a much better lead here early on. Unlike last game, it was really all DWY. This time it's not. It is, I guess you can say, it really is all Empire Gaming. I mean, all 3 lanes, they are doing a very good job in. The middle, the tri lane at bottom, of course. The top lane, haven't been paying too much attention to that, but Bubbles, he is definitely up there, especially compared to Waffle, my god. So yeah, I think you can argue that he is winning that lane as well. So all 3 lanes, unlike last game, being won by Empire Gaming, and they're on their way to a much, much better game themselves now. And it's scary for DWI because without Sandwraith getting a powerful farm, especially early on like this, he is struggling. Still level 6, and has been sitting under the 200 gold per minute mark pretty much the whole game. Still not even as working on a Helm of the Black Legion, I guess, with that Life Tube and Iron Buckler. It's going to be a while because he only has around 100 gold currently saved up, so it's getting scary here for DWI, and the last thing they want, though, is to let this momentum keep on going, because if you let that happen, it's just like a snowball effect, and sure enough, Empire will just roll on through.
Yeah, and I think important to note is that Scandal, Scandal has been allowed to sit in the mid lane this entire time. They're not applying enough counter pressure that it's forcing Empire to move around to get these kills at all. Scandal is farming comfortably. The rest of the team is just taking advantage of every little mistake that DWI makes. Every little time they press up too far, they're getting those stuns. Those CC rotations are getting much, much better, and we do see another triple stun coming out right there, and Sandwraith going down so fast to that Hammerstorm ultimate. Hammerstorm with that Mighty Blade, obviously factoring into his ultimate as well. Obviously going to go for that Shrunken Head next.
Hammerstorm feeling confident right here. 1 auto attack, 2 auto attacks, 3 auto attacks, kills Voodoo Jester. So a hammer and 3 auto attacks gets a kill on Witchslayer right there from Hammerstorm alone. I mean, FaV, he is really feeling comfortable with this farm right now and what he's got going. Wretched Ag is down here. Bubble's going to throw the Turtle Shell in. Madman also putting out some harassment. You see the ward aside, of course, beyond the tower from Empire Gaming, giving the vision behind. Sandwraith using the ultimate. Is he going to pour it in? Yes, he is. He misses the Desert's Curse, though, on Bubbles. Hits it on Andromeda, but not necessarily going to make anything really happen of that, it doesn't look like. What a revelation from Empire Gaming right here for Madman. Hammerstorm using the Galvanize, though, increasing his armor and his run speed. Nice hammer right there on a Wretched Hag. Tried to get 2, only got 1. Good swap from Andromeda right there, buying Hammerstorm that distance. Here comes Solstice now. Bubbles from behind, takes out Wretched Hag, takes out Voodoo Jester, and Madman's like, okay, I guess I'm not going to continue to go in right there. So again, just that's one of those cases of over-pursuing from the Legion team. They did not realize that support was coming from the backside, and sure enough, it came, and Empire Gaming set up good support right there. Now they're going to be able to push his tower. Sandwraith, there's just absolutely nothing he can do. He's just hiding in the jungle, hoping that they do not guess he's here. Ooh, he dodges the Aurora. Lucky he did that. But ping's going on. They know he's down here, and they're going to go in for him. Sandwraith does not have his ultimate. He has a Desert's Curse, of course, so he should be able to get away unless a stun happens. Oh, the Zeal Set, it does hit him, actually. Sandwraith, 1 auto attack, a couple more may do the job. He's just trying to buy his escape now. Oh, and no, he goes down. It looks like he actually might have bought an item just before he died right there. I don't know what that was, but yeah, he just paused and all of a sudden just died. So Empire Gaming 16-4 Hyoko advantage. I mean, just talk about a complete turnaround from one game to another from really both teams. I mean, DWI is so dominant in game 1, a 25-minute victory. Here in game 2, Empire Gaming, they are just looking unstoppable themselves now.
Yeah, this is, I mean, definitely a dominating game on their end. 14 minutes in, already with a 12,000 gold lead, 9,000 experience lead. That's not insurmountable later in the game, but at this point, that's just going to increase and increase and increase because the early experience lead. And an experience lead matters a lot more early when a 9,000 experience lead is something like 400 or 500 more burst damage in team fights. It's stronger ultimates, it's stronger nukes, longer stuns, all that good stuff. I mean, later in the game, it's not that big a deal. It's a few attribute points. Yes, levels are still good, but this early game is definitely where the levels matter more. And when you see a team out-leveling their opponents this badly, it's just a sign that things are really going to just keep moving. The boulder's going to keep on rolling, gathering more and more moss as it goes. And that moss would be the lead that Empire Gaming has right now.
I like that. We're so used to saying snowball effect, but I like that new boulder effect with the moss growing on it. Just gathers more and more moss. Start using that from now on. No, but yeah, whatever term you want to use, it's true. Empire Gaming just in a very, very good spot. Oh, Waffle, oh my God, gets away with 5 life right there. The Aurora almost picked it, wasn't enough for the kill, but just not enough. And of course, the stock ability allows for him to make the escape. But yeah, we're seeing right now DWI, they're the map control clearly in favor of Empire Gaming, and when you have this much dominant map control this early on in the game, it really hinders your farm on the Legion team. And clearly for a team that's really relying on that Sandwraith, you know, this is what happens when you pick a hero again. You build your team around just having him sit back and farm while the rest of your team goes around, ganks, you know, keeps the other team occupied. But with this lack of map advantage and really, you know, just lack of farm overall, I mean, hell, you look at Wretched Hag. All she has is boots and a blood chalice. Madman, he does have steam boots in a bottle. He's doing a little bit better, but it's still not, you know, good enough, you can say. Even the levels as well. You look at Bubbles and Solstice, they're right now both level 11. You got Wretched Hag and Madman level 10 and 9. And look at this. A Congo attempt has been going on. They're going to get very close to killing it now. And Legion team, absolutely no chance of stopping it. So Solstice now will also have a token of life right there. He has his Shrunken Head finished, by the way. And Hammerstorm, he he got his Steam Boots, bringing the teacher now Mighty Blade. I wouldn't be surprised to see him eventually go for a Frost Sprint, so Ice Sprint first, honestly. He could go for the Shrunken Head route, but we'll see. I don't know if Shrunken Head necessarily is a huge item necessary here against this Legion team. They do have decent CC, but, well, it's really only from Voodoo Jester and Witch Slayer. It is a good amount, though, so we'll see. But, yeah, Empire Gaming now 16. It's still a 16-4 hero kill lead. But now going to push his middle lane. Oh, God, Madman might be in trouble. There's the silence. There's the ultimate from Bubbles. And the Demon Hand from Scandal to make sure that he went down. Just catching. They can just catch you so fast, like showing right there. As my phone is freaking out. 1 second.
I mean, that silence from Bubbles on that Madman is something we don't actually... I mean, I mentioned it last game, talking about that Dr. Repulsor, where his escape mechanism obviously gets nullified by that silence, but any hero that's relying on an escape mechanism, a silence, because it doesn't disable the rest of you, all silences are balanced by being longer than most stuns. If the only reason a hero can get away from you is because they have a spell that lets them do so, a silence is often better than a stun at preventing the escape. And so if you're trying to play aggressive and trying to beat escape mechanisms, a silence is often a better choice to lane against them than a stun.
Great use of that Shrunken Head right there by Scandal, avoiding the Bat Blast damage. I believe it only really hit one player in Andromeda. And other than that, though, of course, if you're only going to hit one player with a Bat Blast in a team fight like that, you definitely did not make the best use of it. And so now Slicks will have to wait another 120 seconds before he can use that again. You see Empire Gaming aggressively pushing this. Madman kind of pushing out a little bit right there. Going to start falling back with the stock now. Hammerstorm, he's not afraid to push up right here, despite not having the Shrunken Head or anything. He's going to get fall back, though. And, of course, another heal coming out from Nymphora. It's only level 2, however, so not necessarily a great amount, but... it is something. Again, though, that goes back to Nymphora being a part of that trial lane. Kind of lacking in levels, and the argument that I always bring up, but still making it by, being somewhat useful. Galvanize being used right there from Hammerstorm. Thinking about maybe going in, but not just so yet. So again, Galvanize providing both the armor and the speed bonus. And Empire figured that they had enough. They're just not going to pour it out and continue to farm. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. I mean... There's really, again, they have the obvious map control. There's no reason to just sit there in the middle lane, go back and forth. Just fall back and farm. You have the farm advantage. Yeah, arguably the Legion team overall, they do have the better farming team for later game and overall better late game, but we're by no means anywhere close to that. And when you already have a 17,000 gold advantage 19 minutes into the game, you know that you can definitely, no matter what kind of team makeup you have, you can definitely afford to sit back and farm, keep on farming up, and not be too worried about the other team being too much of a threat sooner than later. So at this point, we're kind of at that, unless Empire Gaming makes some clearly obvious mistakes, if DWI happens to start roaming around, picking off players left and right by themselves, Empire Gaming in prime position to send this to a Game 3, trying to stay alive here in the GosuGamers main event losers bracket. So this is proving to be a very entertaining series. Again, coming after Game 1, kind of thought to yourself, well, DWI, maybe they're just that powerful in Empire Gaming. Not to expect much from them, but clearly that is not the case. And I tell you, Game 3, it definitely is making for a very, very good Game 3. But, of course, there still is time left here in this Game 2. Not officially over yet, but just like last game was, it's not looking too good for one of the teams, in this case being DWI. Huh.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think this whole game, everything about this game has been better from Empire's end. I don't think DWI is necessarily playing much worse, although they were a little worse in their tri-lane than before, but that's also just because you can't have that snap aggression with Sand Wraith like you can with Magebane, which they really took advantage of in Game 1. I mean, but coming from Empire's side, we have, I think, better picks, I think better lane choices, and they played it better. They timed everything better, and they were more coordinated, so I'm not surprised to see them put out a much, much better showing this time around.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to argue that, clearly, from especially how the laning phase went, that Empire Gaming perhaps outpicked DWI here, especially when it comes to that tri lane. I mean, the solos, not maybe so much, but the tri lane really did it in. I mean, having that triple stun from the Hellborn team it against a melee carry like that in a tri lane, it just makes them so vulnerable. And yes, even though you have a couple of stuns yourself with Witch Slayer and Voodoo Jester, You know, if it's timed correctly, the Hellborn team should be able to get the kill every time, and they showed that several times throughout. They're going to push this middle lane now in here, trying to actually finish the tower, and that they will. The vulnerability used. Tablet of Command used on Hammerstorm right there. I don't know if that was offensive or defense, but wow, Witch Slayer just got beat down right there. Soul Stealer ultimate also going off. They catch Wretched Hag, obviously, and Sandwraith ports in, trying to finish off Nefora. We'll get the kill on Nefora, but now he's looking to run away right here, and he is going to be able to make his escape. By the way, Tablet of Command also on Hammerstorm, so 3 Tablet of Commands on this Hellborn team right now. Oh my god, Madman just got annihilated. He went in right there. The hammer came out, though, and with that ultimate activated, now level 2, of course, from Hammerstorm. It's not active right now, but he's easily hitting for well over 200, maybe even around 250 damage at this point. Just doing so much damage, showing right there. Bubble's going to turn this around. Here's the hammer coming down to Wretched Hag. Do they have enough damage? Of course they do. They take out Wretched Hag right there. It's just the Hammerstorm stun alone is just so powerful at this point because he can set up so much damage. He has a Tablet of Command. He gets away right there. He has a hammer right now. He might be able to turn this around on Sandwraith, actually, if he gets the support. Here comes Andromeda. There's a Swan from Andromeda. There comes the Zeal as well. Hammerstorm coming right back into it. He ain't afraid of no freaking ghost. He puts a stun on Witch there, takes him out. Voodoo Jester also going down. And Sandwraith in the end is like, yeah, I don't have any CC, guys. All I can do is just poke my little dagger at them and hope for the best. And clearly that's just not enough. So empr Gaming, they're just keeping it going. A team that never backs down, and that's kind of funny, never backs down. But anyways, Hammerstorm's going to fall back, but the rest of the team going to keep pushing the middle lane, and they're going to easily take out the middle racks right here. So empr Gaming well on their way to this is I wouldn't not be surprised to see it concede, in fact, anytime soon. I just don't see DWI really to be in any position to make a sort of a comeback here.
No, I agree with you on that one. Like I said last game, my rule of thumb is wait for a Rax to be down before I put up a concede vote usually. I mean, and it has to be really bad then, but it's really bad. The Rax is down. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come out. At the same time, I just have to say, in that last fight, Slicks missed the entire Hag ultimate. I guess he was going for Hammerstorm before the tablet happened, and that ultimate is key. That, aside from the Sandwraith ultimate, that's their team fight. That's their big initiation ultimate. They have to hit that, or they're not going to get anywhere in any team fight. And the Sandwraith ultimate isn't worth that much before he has any damage. So, I mean, if they're not, much better shot right there.
Yeah, that did a lot more damage, and then you see 2 players die in this result. But Soulstealer with that Shrunken Head activated, he is just tearing players left and right. He's trying to finish off Wretched Hag right here. Can't get the actual kill on him. Using this Geometer's Bane, though. He has a token of life, remember. The Geometer's Bane, though, enough to bring down Wretched Hag, and now he's going to resurrect right back up. And with the assistance of Hammerstorm, both Sandwraith and Madman, they make their getaway. This tower easily going to be taken out. And, of course, just clear up the creep wave. So a little bit of signs of life there from DW, like you said, with Slicks actually landing that Bat Blast. A good position, but unfortunately it just did not enable for enough to happen. As we see Hammerstorm finishing his Ice Brand on top of his Tablet of Command that he picked up earlier. And, of course, Solstice, as we just saw as well, finishing that Geometer's Bane to go with a Shrunken Head. I mean, only 24.5 minutes in to already have the items he has. He must be insane. Yeah, 535 gold per minute right now on Solstice. That is typical Scandal status. He has been a little bit disappointed the last couple of games, but it's good to see him. He can still be dominant, as always, with Soulstealer. But like I was talking about earlier as well, 3 Tablet of Commands on this Hellborn team right now. That's always good fun. And Bubbles, it looks like he's working on a Hellflower, actually. An item that we've seen a little bit more and more recently. It's always been an item that we just never really saw, one of the least seen items in the game. But recently we have been seeing a little bit more and more. And unique phase around Bubbles. He's going to be picking it up. And, of course, as always, we'll make effective use of it. As far as the Legion team goes, looking around at their items now, seeing what the Helmet of the Black Legion on Sandwraith, and to go with this Mystic Vestment, so he's going for the early tanky. But again, he's just really, I mean, right now he's just barely sitting at the 200 gold per minute mark, only 73 creep kills. Just has not been able to get anywhere near that ideal farm at this point in the game. Madman on top of that, I mean, for this point in the game as well, just nothing too impressive, especially in the fact that he was solo. Having a Madman solo, you would go on Wolver's One, you would expect him to have a fairly powerful farm at this point, but that just isn't happening either. So, yeah, DWI, they're not conceding yet, but you can't necessarily blame them, of course. After all, it is a game. It's about having fun, but it's clearly evident at this point that we are going to be having a Game 3, and now it's just a matter of time before that actually happens. But Madman keeps it going for DWI, pushing the top tower in the meantime. Hellborn side, they're waiting around for Conqueror, it looks like. I don't know exactly when it's going to be up, but it probably is fairly shortly. Seeing that as they're sitting around here. We'll have to wait and see, though. They can drop in pretty damn fast, though, with everyone there.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's nothing the Legion team can do about it, because they'll lose a team fight if they go in on it, even with Kongor right there. Just using the illusions to tank, so he doesn't have to worry about being at low health if they try to gank him. And just putting another token of life on Soul Stealer, getting the extra gold for the whole team. This is really, really dominating showing from Empire. That's all I can say about this.
Yeah, I just don't know if I've ever seen, just such a back and forth between in a best of 3 series between game 1 and 2. It's like to see one team just so dominant, and obviously in DWI in game 1 and a 25-minute victory. To see game 2 just so dominant in this just complete turnaround for Empire Gaming here in game 2, and yet again a fairly early victory. It's just, I mean, maybe we have seen it, but it just does not happen often. And, that goes back to what we're talking about, both being very, very competitive, very good teams. And just one team just happens to get that gap. They just take on through with it. And arguably in both games, maybe one team outpicked the other, and that definitely has something to do with it. But it's Empire Gaming. They also look to be playing a little bit more crisp than last game as well. So this is, again, going to make for an entertaining Game 3. Initiation, though, from Bubbles on to Madman right there, followed by the Hammer again. Madman just drops so fast. He eventually goes down, and there's the ultimate activated from Hammerstorm. He is now hitting for 361 maximum freaking damage. Wretched Ag gets nuked down by the Demon Hands right there. Hammerstorm's still alive. The Legion team wants to kill him so badly. They just cannot, though. Madman somehow still alive with a slither of life right there. But both Sandwraith and Witchslayer, as you can see, are down. Madman going to come back in, going to try to pick up a kill. Oh, he's just stalking around all over the place. But he doesn't want to become vulnerable and spotted. He's going to keep stalking in back and forth. Legion team kind of holding off right here, actually. And they actually get the kill on Souls there, forcing him to use the token of life. He's just going to resurrect, though, stand his ground. If 4 is dropping really low, she will go down to Wretched Ag's nuke. But look at the damage from Soul Stealer. 220 damage himself. He finished that Whispering Helm on top of what he already has. And just nukes down Wretched Ag right there. But now I think he's... oh, God. The ultimate right on top of Madman. What timing right there from Soul Stealer. Perfect timing. Oh, Madman went right on top of him as soon as that Soul Stealer ultimate went off. And Madman just evaporated right there. Oh, God. I love to see Scandal playing Soul Stealer. Always entertaining.
That was ridiculous. That's all I have to say. Also, Madman bought back. He didn't survive the first thing, so that's actually 2 deaths to his credit and no real gold to make up for it. And they still lost the tower. They protected the racks for now, but it's not going to last that long. So, I mean, I guess you can't argue with a buyback if it defends the racks. And something falling off my desk there. Sorry.
All good. No, but yeah, it's the buyback's not really debatable, but kind of necessary. But yeah, it's a buying back for just delaying the inevitable, like it's a phrase I like to use. By the way, Immortal almost finished on Scandal. He has 13 kills. 13 no. He's going to probably get 14 right here with the kill on Voodoo Jester. There we go. Needs one more now for the Immortal. He's going to focus on Wretched Ag. She's silenced and will get it. There's the Immortal. The epic Immortal for Soul Stealer. And it looks like that's going to be a DWI's cue to actually concede the game right there. So, whew, wow. All right, so now, Game 3. This is going to be the interesting thing. Obviously, as always, whenever we have teams like this, U.S. going up against European, where is Game 3 going to be? Whether or not it's going to be a server role or it's going to be a default server, I don't know, so we'll have to wait and see. Again, though, we are obviously doing replay casts, so we're going to need to figure out... I don't believe the game is finished yet, to be honest, so we'll have to wait for that. But, yeah, for Game 2, Empire Gaming, very, very dominating performance, and, again, just a complete turnaround from Game 1 right there. And we got an epic Game 3 coming up, no doubt, so stay tuned for that. But I guess final thoughts on the Game 2 here, Hippie?
I mean, like I said, I can remember a specific series that went exactly like this for the first 2 games. That was a long, long time ago. It was 5 versus We Heart Pigs. And Sebuska on 5 had a 600 gold per minute farm in Game 2 and absolutely dominated, and that sounds very similar to what happened here. And I hope against hope that Game 3 isn't the depressing crush fest that we saw during that series, because at the end of that, We Heart Pigs just stomped 5 in about 20 minutes, and I'm hoping for a much better game than that.
Yeah, it's tough to say because, like you just said, I mean, going from that example, Game 3 unfortunately happened to be a stump itself as well, so, you know, it could very likely be that again, but you kind of cross your fingers and hope that we have an epic finish here, and by all means, to definitely have the makings for that with the way the first 2 games went, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But again, Game 3 going to be coming up next, guys. We'll get that going as soon as possible, as soon as it's finished, and we'll get the replay for it. But for now, thanks for tuning into this cast. Again, I was Breaky CPK. Joining me was Hippie of the Honcast staff. And as always, stay tuned to Honcast.com for much, much more coverage. Game 3 going to be coming up next, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back with that.